The white storm energy caused my heart to pound and my body changed into an engine. The exclusive skill Electrification Level 11, plus 1, has been activated. Due to the increase in my status, the skill level reached 11. In essence, all skill levels were restricted to level 10. After that, people had to learn better skills or use transcendence like the returnees. Yet this skill was level 11. Now my electrification had exceeded the limits of the system. It wasn't hard to use electrification as usual. The returnee Kyrgios had a strength comparable to a powerful narrative-grade constellation. He was a strong figure whose depth couldn't be measured. Now I could get a glimpse of how much strength Kyrgios had. If Kyrgios had reached a realm that could never be reached, I got a glimpse of where he had gone. Tentatio was terrified beyond surprise. A constellation with a returnee's ability? What on earth are you? I wanted to say my name, but then my grumpiness got to me. What? I am Yjhs. Tentaccio's body was torn in two by the explosive power of electrification in the Blade of Faith. The electric current around the sword blew off his arms and legs before his head rolled across the ground. He couldn't even scream. My level 90 magic power was instantly exhausted and fatigue pulled in. Still, my level was clear. Yjhs. Shit, I was scared to death. The fallen head was talking. Incarnation, do you know what it means to be a constellation? What nonsense was he suddenly saying? You will regret giving me your name. What? Demon Earl Tentacio has used Death Scream. Demon Earl Tentacio has spread the name yjhs throughout the Dark Castle. The Dark Castle rankers will remember the name yjhs. I hadn't expected this. The Dark Castle rankers are baring their teeth towards the incarnation yjhs. I felt a bit sorry. I really hadn't intended for this to happen. However, yjhs should also suffer a bit. You have hunted the Demon Earl Tentacio. A third-grade demon has been killed for the 5th time and 30,000 coins have been acquired. Transparent strings started to appear around Tentacio's corpse. From the Dark Castle scenario onwards, we could only kill those who had stories and take them away. I stretched out my hand and grabbed the string. The history grade story, Bug Slaughter, has been acquired. Bug Slaughter. The story would be enough to hatch the 41st regression Shin Yusung. By the way, could I feed her the story of a demon? Would her mentality get worse if I fed it to her? You have completed the bounty scenario. The constellation Lady of the Brocade Sleep feels deep appreciation towards you. You are now able to receive the protection of Sia constellations. The protection of Sia constellations. They might seem insignificant, but they were also constellations. If I built up a relationship with them, there would surely be a day when they could help me, just like the Absolute Throne situation. The history grid story, Sia Allied Forces, has been received. Sia Allied Forces? The constellation Lady of the Brocade Sleep is laughing heartily. Well, she said she would give me a history grade story, not that it would be a good one. It didn't matter, since I could feed it to Shin Yusung. My party members recovered their spirits and approached me. Shit. Kim Dokcha is crazy. Dokshashi, how strong are you? I grinned at them. Lee Hyung-sung looked down at his shoulders that had been bitten by Tentacio. Are there many enemies like him on the 2nd floor? There are some, but it's uncommon. This guy's ranking is probably... A message finally popped up in the air. 50,000 coins have been acquired as a main scenario reward. The main scenario content has been updated. You have won a place in Dark Castle. You have hunted the 10th place demon in the Dark Castle rankings, Tentacio. Ranking will be in proportion to hunting contribution. 10th place. There are at least 9 existences stronger than this guy. There are more similar guys. Lee Hyung-sung's expression was complicated. He was relieved that the Demon Earl was in the top 10, but at the same time, he was discouraged. Dokshashi is strong enough to fight these guys. Hyung-sung-shi can do it if you follow your story. I also can't guarantee that I can hunt demons ranked higher than him. In my current state, I could deal with an Earl-grade demon without opening a story. It wouldn't have been as easy if Bug Slaughter wasn't his story. Han Soo-young's pride also seemed hurt. Sheesh, pretending to be modest. Aren't you deceiving people? You might have done it if you had fought with all your power. Didn't the Abyssal Black Flame Dragon hand you a story? Finally, the rankings were determined. Our ranking number was sent to the status window in front of us. The incarnation Kim Dokcha's ranking in Dark Castle is 11th place. 11th place. It wasn't bad. The rest of my party members had terrible expressions, as if they were receiving their CSAT scores. Han Soo-young quickly ran to my side and glanced at my ranking window. Hey, you're quite high. Han Soo-young's expression hardened when she saw the number 11. There was a big difference in contribution. Han Soo-young and the others were probably in the hundreds. She wondered, will I be 11th place if you kill you now? Do you think you can win? I don't know. In any case, I'm better than that, yjhs. Han Soo-young pointed out as he passed Kim Yong-pal. The incarnation Kim Yong-pal's ranking in Dark Castle is number 100,001, 101,123. The 101,123rd ranked Kim Yong-pal slept without knowing the world. Lee Ji-hee and Lee Gil-young, who had been unconscious since the beginning, received the ranks of 98,761 and 87,541, respectively. This was strange. Why was the yjhs' rank lower than the people who had been unconscious from the beginning? What about Lee Hyung-sung? 636th place. Lee Hyung-sung's voice was gloomy. I hesitated to speak words of comfort, but Lee Hyung-sung opened his mouth first. It's fine. I received many reports like this during my school days. I'm somehow more motivated. It seemed there was no need for me to worry. Lee Hyung-sung was the type to become more devoted if he had a specific goal. Shin Yu-sung, who was standing beside me, shook when my eyes met hers. Don't look! She was like an elementary school student hiding a report card from her parents. I was a bit worried about this child. It doesn't matter what ranking you are right now. There will be many chances to rise up after going to the second floor. It depends on how hard Yu-sung works. Damn, I shouldn't say such lame things. Not everything would work out if you tried hard. Still, Shin Yu-sung seemed to sincerely accept my advice. Can I become strong enough, yjhs? Of course, you're stronger than me. I spoke sincerely. In fact, Shin Yu-sung had more potential than anyone else here. Your stigma is about to blossom, screening the story of your stigma. Shin Yu-sung would grow explosively once she received a stigma. No, even without a stigma, Shin Yu-sung was essential for the second floor of the Dark Castle. It was a stage where the children could be active. However, I don't know why this ranking was suddenly given. If it was merely for a competition, perhaps the person who reaches the top will receive a medal. It was Lee Hyung-sung who spoke. His words weren't wrong. I'm sure this was the purpose. There was an even more fundamental reason for the Dark Castle rankings. The moment I opened my mouth, the Demon King Asmodeus is interested in your presence. The Demon King Astaroth is watching you. The Demon King Ouroboros is hungry for your story. It wasn't just me. The other party members also received the messages. The messages were much more disturbing than those sent by the constellations. The messages alone caused everyone to shake. In particular, Han Soo-young was completely frightened since she previously received the curse of a Demon King. A Demon King. Among them, a few had a status that could compare to the constellation. At the end of this scenario, we would fight a Demon King. Quack! The blade curved in a beautiful manner and cut off the head of a demon species. He was one without a story. Yoo Jung-hyuk had climbed up to the second floor and launched his full-scale plan to raise his ranking. As always, plans for the future were crammed in his head like training routines. In order to get to the third floor, I need to seek the 4 heavenly kings. The top rankers should be in the same section. One of the 10 evils is on the second floor. It's better not to bump into him. If I keep collecting stories like this, perhaps in 4 days. Then a message appeared in the air. Someone has spread your name with Death Scream. The Dark Castle Rankers will remember your name. The Dark Castle Rankers are watching for you. The Dark Castle Rankers will aim for your story. Yoo Jung-hyuk frowned at the message. My name was suddenly spoken. It was strange. Death Screen is a demon curse. I haven't killed one yet who used that ability. Yumiya's cheeks puffed up from beside him, and she asked, What is it, Oppa? It's nothing. Yoo Jung-hyuk hesitated for a moment before adding, It seems that guy is doing something bothersome again. That guy? There is such a person. Yumiya watched her brother, who had spoken in a cold voice. There was a nuance different from usual in his voice. It was a small change, like a grain of rice, but Yumiya was able to perceive the change. It was because Yoo Jung-hyuk was her older brother. Are you referring to that ugly yjhs? Ilpa looks happy when talking about that yjhs. Yjhs was embarrassed when he saw his smiling sister and replied sharply, "You are mistaken." Is that so? Yumiya laughed at Yjhs. Yjhs scowled and wanted to say something to her. The next moment, a bloody aura rose from Yjhs' body. Yumiya thought he was really angry, but Yjhs opened his mouth first. "Stop eavesdropping and come out, otherwise I will kill you." One part of the air seemed rigid, and a heavenly doll appeared from a crack in the air. It was a woman wearing a cloak. "I'm sorry, it wasn't on purpose." "Who are you?" "It's me, Yjhs." The cloak was removed, revealing a surprising figure. Yjhs knew this face. Not long ago, he had rescued her. "Yusanga?" It was Yusanga, who was the incarnation of the nebula Olympus.